We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ian, and if this is the first time you've been here, this channel is all about music and art, and this is part of a series of videos where we're looking at the brand new Korg 700 FS. And what we're doing in this video is we're actually going to be comparing it to my original Korg 700. So what we've done with this is we've switched off the effects on here, so everything to put it in line with the original 700 is down here, and we've got both instruments going through a Tascam Model 24, and we've put a little bit of plate reverb on both, and as much as possible I've tried to match the outputs. The new 700 FS, the spring reverb completely off, didn't think it was fair, and we're only using the mono left channel because the original has only got a mono channel. And we're just going to look at we'll try a couple of presets and we'll just do a direct comparison. So I hope you like it. So let's program a setting that I used to use, and it's the one from a track that I played in one of the other videos. So it's set up like this. And we'll set this to exactly the same. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tune them. So we'll tune the new one first. Perfect pitch of C. So now that both are tuned to concert pitch, let's start with everything switched off and see how they compare. So we'll go it's pretty close. Put the traveller up to full. Put percussion on. Initial feelings are that the new 700 FS is ever so slightly brighter sound. The old 700 has a sort of wobbly warmth to it. It just has a little bit more, I don't want to say the word character, but it's clearly got idiosyncrasies. Let's try putting something like expand on. So expand. Try it on here. Can't tell a huge amount of difference. I'm going to add brightness in because they always seem to work better together. I just wanted to check to make sure there was no EQ on the desk, and there isn't. Everything is dead flat. So the new one sounds a little bit brighter than the old one, and you could sort of expect that to some extent after 50 years. The old 700, you know, you could argue it's probably had a hard life and its components are old. So let's leave those on and add the sustain. So try the same on the FS. That sounds close, really. Bender, adding that as well. So, right, let's have a look at the repeat. Now, the repeat, just on its own, and the 700 FS. The 700 clearly is running slightly faster and is slightly more wonky. I think wonky is a good word. So let's have a look at the arpeggiator. Now, the old 700 doesn't have an arpeggiator, but what I used to do was I would hold down one note and play other notes over the top of it. So like this. I don't think we can do that on the new 700, but we'll try. No, because the way the arpeggiator works, as we explained in the last video, is because if I hold a chord on the old one, the top note is the lead note. So it's that one. And the other ones below, the other notes below it don't make any difference. So if I play that note, always going to be the top note. That's not how the new 700 is going to work. Although, as I explained in the last video, my assumption is that depending on which note you press first is how the arpeggiator will work. So that's going C, E, G, C, E, G. If I do that in verse, so G first. So we get that sort of, that's how the arpeggiator works. Having said that, I like the new arpeggiator. I want a bit more control over it, but I also, it would be quite nice to have that old style where the note is dominated by the higher up the keyboard you play. So it would be nice to be able to, maybe in the production version that may be an option, I don't know. I'm certainly going to feed that back to Korg. So moving swiftly on, the other nice thing is there's no hold on here, and I always had to use a weight to hold the key down, and it's so much nicer now that we've got a weight, a hold button. on the new one. That's great actually. Let's have a look at vibrato. So let's say up to 50%. Put it to 5. And let's have a look at Portamento. So Portamento will go from a low note the stability of the notes on the old 700 are inferior really to the new 700 FS. But having said that, that for me has a charm. You wouldn't, but then again, you wouldn't expect a new keyboard to have those sort of idiosyncrasies that a 50-year-old keyboard or 45-year-old keyboard has. But actually the way that the note sort of wobbles up with the Portamento as it goes, rather than just a really nice clean sweep with the new version, there is something quite nice about that. So we'll just pick one more preset. Now the human voice preset was always a very strange preset, but one that was actually quite liked by an awful lot of people. I've never ever used it, but so let's just do that, the human voice. Here we go. The initial response there is that the FS sounds louder, but also the bass seems much more well defined than the original. It's quite nasally, that. Well, so that concludes this experiment. I have to say, you can make your own mind up as to whether you think the original 700 is better than the new 700 FS. My thoughts are that I quite like the quirks and the idiosyncrasy and the oddness of the original 700, but as a much more 21st century machine, the FS is doing a really, really good job compared to the original. I think it's fantastic, really. So thanks very much. Tell me what you think. Pop your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. So thanks very much for watching, and all of the other videos in this series are linked down below. So if you've missed any of them, and we go through all of the controls on the newest 700, and there's also a video where I play all the old presets and the new presets on the 700. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers now. Bye bye.